Good evening and welcome to the Orleans Hotel and Casino, home of the award-winning National Finals Tonight show. Brought to you in part by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Jim Beam, Maker's Mark, Knob Creek, Basil Hayden's, 14 Hands Wines, Ram Rodeo, Boot Barn, Cinch Jeans, Resist All Hats, Montana Silversmiths, and Boyd Gaming. National Finals tonight with 8-time world champion bull rider Don Gay, 8-time world champion cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Hi, everybody. Nice. Boy, is this a great crowd. Aren't you glad you're here tonight? We're so glad to have you with us for National Finals tonight. This is year number 13 of us doing this show. And welcome to all of you here. We'll call it our studio audience. And hello to everybody watching out on the Cowboy channel there in RFD. It's great to have you here. You're here on a wonderful night. You guys know in the audience we have prizes to give away for you. But I think we ought to get this thing started. It was a great night at the rodeo. We're going to talk about that and have highlights. And we have great guests coming out to join us as well. So let's bring our stars, our co-stars out here, if you will, please. Let's start with this first guy. I've been working with him for, 30 years. 8-time world champion bull rider Donnie Gay. Would you welcome him here to New Orleans? Hello, Donnie.
It's Wednesday in Las Vegas. Anybody in here having fun yet?
Yes.
Okay.
That means you and I, huh? Yes. How are you?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Maybe better than I deserve, something like that.
Isn't this just this is the place to be, isn't it? Las Vegas National Finals Rodeo.
You know, in the Orleans Hotel, we've got a reunion going on.
Yes.
And man, you talk about some flashbacks. I've been having some flashbacks. I mean, Denny Flynn and Randy Majors walked in the door back there. I mean, we got, you know, National Finals guys from, you know, the 60s, 70s, 80s. All the conversation starts out at the bar. But sometimes we finish the story at the restroom.
Yeah, I understand.
It's sad, but we're still here.
And I think he's talking 1860s, 70s. Yeah, it's been a while. Let's get this other guy out here. Of course, he is an 8-time world champion as well, and just the great rodeo ambassador, and it's an honor every night. Joe Beaver is here. Would you welcome him, please?
Sometimes,
hey,
sometimes a little too much info. A little too much info there.
Careful.
Ready?
Gotta catch him.
Oh, man.
Wow, that was a fastball.
How's Joe Beaver?
Right off the bat, I got a rookie back there, and I'm telling him the show's okay, you're going to be good. Everything here is Donnie talking about going to the restroom. Shoot, he's gone.
How are you doing, Joe?
Good. It's another night of the rodeo.
Yeah, and we do have rookies here tonight, and it's just going to be a great show to talk to them and everything going on. And, Donnie, let's talk. Tomorrow is the big day for everybody that's here. We need a little more floor monitors for our mics up here. But, Donnie, talk about what's going to happen tomorrow with these legends.
Well, it's a reunion of all the old bull riders. The gold cards, you know, if you've been a member of the PRCA for 20 years, you get a gold card and you pay your dues and stuff. And, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, we went to the national finals, you know, with A.J. Swaim and Guy Barth and you know, Doug Shipe, guys like that. And after you finish rodeoing, if you're not the son of a stock contractor and still able to stay in rodeo like I have, these guys have had to stop riding bulls, get a job, raise a family, and all that, and you have no reason or no real recourse to stay in touch. And I mean, it's just so much fun to be able to pick up right where you left off. Whatever Wild West story you were into 30 years ago, you can finish it now. You know, and it's even better.
Now, Donnie, are you guys just getting together? Is this a private thing? Can the public come to the Orleans? What's going on?
Well, there's a charge. It's upstairs at the Orleans to meet. I think it costs like $75, and but. You ain't never spent $75 worth anymore. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have a group picture of all the bull riders. It'll be a picture that'll have more quality bull riders in it than's ever been taken, and that's credit to Larry Jordan and the Orleans Hotel for, because it's quite the undertaking to keep these guys in line long enough to get a picture.
Okay, and last thing, Donnie, what time is it? Where?
Well, you start registering at 10:30 and it goes to 2 o'clock.
Okay, awesome. We hope everybody can do that. What a great round that we had tonight at the rodeo. Round number 7 is now in the books, and a lot of world titles still up for grabs. Things changing in the team.
Yes. A lot of drops in 2 events on my end to just open things up.
Yep. So let's take a look back, at round number 7. Joe and Donnie, if you'll do the honors. Donnie, let's start with a bareback riding. I think you know this horse.
Well, I know this horse. It's called Ankle Biter. Worst name in the world, but belongs to my daddy, Neil Gay, at the Rafter G Rodeo, Terrell, Texas, and he drew the right guy. This guy, Clayton Bigelow, is trying to win a world championship, and he's won a round on this horse before, did it again tonight. 91.5 points, and I know my dad is just proud as he can be. He's watching it from Terrell. But this kid right here, spurring a spinning horse and keeping it going is probably as tough a job in the bareback riding as you can get.
Stetson Jorgensen, he showed up tonight, had a really good steer. Head catch makes all the difference in the world. When he caught that steer's head, pushed down the left horn, got his knee bent to where when he hit the ground, he pulled his head back towards the rope and shoots. He's been rushing it a little bit. Tonight he slowed down, brought him all the way around. They got to hit flat and fast to get fall. That's as flat as you can hit, and it's fast, 3.4. I think the fastest time we've seen wins a go-around. Team roping tonight, Cody Snow. When you got the best steer on him, you're supposed to win the round. He does a great job. What I want you to watch, we've said about the clock lately, it doesn't stop when we think. Watch this done horse face. Okay, header's out, got it on him. Wesley Thorpe heels him. Watch this horse turn and look right down the rope. See, he's wanting to face now. Watch the flag drop immediately when he was tight, bam. That's the difference in dropping the flag. Fast or not, 3-6.
All right, in the saddle bronc riding world champion Zeke Thurston, he is after another one. Got a no score last night. Tonight gets 92.5 points. This Get Smart Northcott, a Canadian bucking horse, Canadian cowboy. After the money right here is really a good job.
Horse of the year.
Last night they got him at the gate.
They did.
The flank came off. I didn't think he missed him out, but I'm not judging. But you know, he didn't let that bother him. Kind of like the Binder brothers. They come right back and win a day money. That's what you do in rodeo.
Tyler Milligan, when you have the horse of the year, it makes it easy. Horse scores, runs across there. It's an easy night in the tie-down roping. Watch a horse pull, helps him flank. Now watch, he does not move that calf 1 inch. 1 inch. A horse moving him cost 2 guys tonight. Took one out of the average and hurt another one. That's how they're supposed to pull, but then they don't drag. They let you show what you can do with the string. Tyler Milligan shows them 7-5. That's a horse of the year. He's worth $200,000 for a reason. All right, in the barrel race, don't let this girl get her momentum back. That yellow mare's sister and Haley Kinsel, and they rocked the first barrel a little bit, but it didn't go down. After that, watch this mare. This is what is so amazing every time. She turns the third barrel in 10 like all the rest of them, but she guts it home, runs all the way across the line, 1360, wins a round, back in contention for the gold buckle.
All right, Sage Kimsey was going to come over here, but he had to make another little stop off, go get a championship buckle. 5-time champ of the world, going to be 6 when this thing's over with. Smoke wagon, Survey bucking bull, round to the right into his hand. This is another day off for the guy that's riding better than anybody on the planet in the bull riding. Sage Kimsey has got it going on. You watch the control of his free hand, keeps his head down, looking at that bull. It's a good draw in an uneven pen of bulls tonight. Really tough draw, but you got to ride them one jump at a time. And in the bull riding, there is no cinch.
That's my tattoo man, so I'm cheering for him in my fantasy league. He'll save me.
Outstanding tonight. Donnie, what I wanted to say is because for a long time, Tyler was the only guy that had covered tonight. And we've talked before, if nobody else rides, you get the full $84,000. But that does go towards championship money.
Okay, but that's another one of those things that they never asked me.
That's why. Oh, thank you for saying
When you win ground money, that's all nice. If you want to give all the money to the one guy that stays on, that's fine. He can go to the bank, cash the bank. But for championship points, to win a world championship, to qualify for the national finals, to win the all-around championship, for points to count, you win what first place pays. That's the points you win.
But
if you get the money, then and you're going to count the points there, they got to count for the all-around too.
Exactly.
You know, because they just
count it.
They're putting it. You know, Stetson Wright. If he's the only one that rides, gets $82,000.
But he only counts 27.
He gets to count it in the bull riding to catch up on Sage, but he don't get to count it in the all-around. That's wrong.
Yep. All right.
Count it all or count it none.
There you go.
I thought you might have an opinion on that, so
Reckon?
that's why I asked.
Oops.
Joe, what I wanted to talk about, Hunter Cure, if you haven't been with us, if you've been watching, this guy, and chicken or feathers,
Yes,
Joe, he's
yes.
taken a beating, and then he comes back and wins a round.
He wins a round, wins second, or he gets beat up.
But if you weren't here a couple of nights ago, let's show this one first.
Is this
and
when
this
you got
could
the
have
back
been this could have been an absolute wreck.
We've seen hazers get killed in the rodeo, and this could have happened. Steer outruns him. Lee Graves stays hooked way too long to help his partner. Now all of a sudden he's over the top of the steer and Hunter. And you know, when that happens, usually it knocks a guy loose. Hunter never turns loose.
Watch him when he gets up here. Look at his shirt.
I mean, his shirt
He's
ripped
nearly
open.
undressed.
He says, "Woo, that wasn't very fun right there." Luckily, the hazing horse grabbed his feet back and didn't drive Lee Graves into that bucket chute, or we'd have had one dead hazer. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yep.
That was terrible. Then he comes back, wins a round or wins second.
He did
Then he
win
wins
it.
second or third, and then tonight
steer
if we
wrestling.
have it, I don't know if
we do. Let's take a look at this.
This is why it's called steer wrestling, because okay, he's on a roll, everything's going good. This is a good steer, but things do not go right here. He doesn't get a deep nose hook. Now the steer's got him down, up, back around. Now you're sliding him like out of the bucking chute. Now he tries the full Nelson because the half Nelson didn't work. And the steer's got him where he wants him. It's a good thing it's a steer because he had him in a bad way. And he finally gets him laid down in 18 seconds. You know, poor Hunter, look at the guys there saying, man, that guy's having hell, you know? Because it's either, that's what steer wrestling is. It's still, you got to catch him with your hands and throw him down. There's no rope involved. There's nothing easy about steer wrestling. I don't care how many times you're 3, you're going to be 20 sometimes too.
Yeah, absolutely, and incredible his effort. And as you say, then he's won a couple of rounds as well. So Hunter Cure, that's why
there's
he's a
no
champion.
cinches in any of the events, and the animals don't read your resume
Or care.
Or care.
All right, gentlemen, we've got a full show tonight, so I say we just get at this. Some of these rookies here, Joe, have been just amazing, and we're going to start off with one from the tie-down roping. He was a 2018 Rookie of the Year, but man, he is making a boatload of money here. Ty Harris is here. Would you welcome him from the tie-down roping tonight? Hello, young man. Good to see you. Come on over there by Joe. Yeah.
You got to come sit by me. Dan mentioned 2018 Rookie of the Year, you know, but didn't make the national finals.
No, sir, I didn't.
Did that light a little fire under you to make them this year?
It definitely did. Seeing these guys out here last year, I came and was honored to get my rookie buckle out here last year, and watching that perf, man, it stung pretty good.
Yeah, because when you expect to be there and think you need to be there and you have to watch, it's no fun.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, the roping against those guys every day is a battle, but I really felt like I should have been there and I should have executed better, and it's just a blessing to be here this year. So it feels a lot better than last year.
I want to tell you, after Ty, we've talked so much this week about Joe and helping people get started and influencing their lives. We've got a picture of you and Joe that let's take a look at it, Joe. This is back.
Oh yeah, that's Ty sitting on one of my 85 World Champion saddle, my mom and dad's. You know, Walt, Ty's dad, he's a student of the game. He's a lot like my dad. You know, neither one of them were no world champion roper, but they were students of the game. And my dad was a great teacher. Walt took Ty down there. How old were you, 5, 4?
5 years old.
5 maybe down there. And I remember, this, you know, the story my mom said, yeah, these people want to bring this kid down there and said he ropes like you. You know, there's no kids rope like that. And then after he left, I talked to him a few days later, and she said, hey, that little kid really has it. And that dad, he's going to be a great teacher. And, you know, you got a brother that's 16 now?
Just turned 17 last month.
17, that is just, you know, an amazing roper. And Walt's done an outstanding job with Ty and Joel Braden, and it just keeps them coming. Wyatt's coming, you know what I mean? So I guess they picked some up down there that worked because you made it.
Yes, sir. You helped a lot in your dad and getting us started and everything. And my dad, I wouldn't be here without him. He's been amazing for me inside and out of the arena.
I know I went and roped with y'all. How old are you now? 20? Okay, so you were about 17 last time I was something like that. And I went out in the summer and roped with him for a couple of days. And when I left there, I remember talking to my mom and saying, you know, you're right, that kid has got something special and he'll make it. You know, there's just that, Donnie, we talk about it.
It's
Whatever
just
it
that,
is. Whatever it is. If we could figure it out and bottle and sell that, I'd be set. But nobody knows what it is until you see it or you have it. And I'll be honest, the first of the week, tested him a little bit. He roped terrible. He looked terrible, you know? and I thought, okay, now we're going to see. Do you have it, or are you going to let them take it? And 2 go-around wins in a row and place the 180,000. It feels pretty good?
Yes, sir. It feels great. A lot better than it did at the beginning of the week. I know that.
What I want to ask you, the beginning of the week, Ty, was it nerves? Was it being here? What can you put your finger on the difference?
I honestly don't really think I was nervous. I just think I didn't execute like I should have. First calf kind of stepped left, and I took a shot I probably shouldn't have, and then it kind of set me up for failure right there. And I just had to turn it around in the 3rd round and just try to stay positive and remember, I roped to get here and try to make the best of it.
But what I've said, every night y'all have heard me say when people in the tie-down roping and on TV, when they go left here, it is the hardest shot in the world. One year, all I had to do was catch 2 and tie them down in the 9th round, and mine made a hard left like Shane's tonight. And I knew all I had to do was catch him, and I missed. It's a setup. It's kind of funny. It's like a little bowl football in that arena. And the chutes, the horse boxes are deep. They're 16, 17 foot, so you can get a quick start because of the short arena. But that lets that calf have just enough out there in front of you that as soon as the gate opens, if he goes left, you're 20 foot behind the left-hand turn. And it's very hard to get over there, and it takes a lot of discipline, which I never did probably get, to not throw when you think you can win something, because if it was a 50-50, I thought it was 90-10 my favor all the time, and I missed some too, but it's a hard shot.
It's a tough shot. I think I struggle with that 90-10 deal too, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, but that's that it. We have that it, that makes us think we can win.
Well, Marty Yates talked about it last night, and Shane Hanchy had it happen to him tonight, that calf going to the left. Let's take a look at you at work, not the first couple of rounds, but as things got going for you, and have you and Joe.
See, I really like you because we skipped him first, too.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
All right, here we go. This sets it off in perfect form. This is what Ty does good. See the front end of the calf? I always talk about if you hit him and keep the front end up, you got a chance. This calf wanted to hit and pull him down the arena. Great start, on top of him, good shot, handles his slack. Now right there, a lesser guy that doesn't know how to flank, that wasn't taught the right way to flank, lets that calf set back down and kick him out. Well, then he's 2 strides away, and you'd have been in trouble.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that calf tried to jump away from me. He kind of jumped it tough when he ran him earlier in the week, and it happened fast, but I just tried to stay with my fundamentals and make the best run I could. I was really just trying to get on the board, but first felt pretty good.
Dan, you hear me talk about, and there was 2 guys tonight. Okay, here's the deal. This calf wanted to be a little wild. Now watch when he sits down to tie. His hamstring of his right leg is down on the calf, toes sticking up in the air. When you do that, a calf feels comfortable. They feel contact. They don't feel any struggle or worry, so they let you cross the legs and tie. I saw 2 guys tonight didn't put the leg down on them, calves kick, and they get up and look down at the calf like it was his fault. If you'd have said on me, I'd have took the tie. Right or wrong?
No, right. I mean, it's something you always, I think, you got to fight with and try to sit down on him. I think Caleb Smith does it the best. I mean, he sits down on him, but it's always something I try to work on.
Let's take a look at the next night, too. This was a 7-4. Actually looked like about a 6-7 on the clock there to me, but it was a 7-4. Here you're winning the round. This is a 7.1. Talk about it, guys.
Well, the best thing he does, watch him stay in the stirrup. See how long he's sitting there? It looks like it's too long, but look, oh, wow, the calf is standing up. Well, when you practice flanking and tying 100 a day, you want the calf standing just like that, and you control your slack.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I went inside right there. I knew I had a good calf, and when he was posted up down there, I started licking my lips. It felt pretty good.
About right here, about right there, when you drug it back and it was tight, I went to Colin. No, this could be a lead change, because I knew if he gave you that chance, you weren't going to beat yourself.
Yes, sir. I tried not to, and it worked out that night.
Joe, talk about him. Show it one more time, a little slower, Colin, if you will. Him staying in the stirrup.
Okay, he gets out of the berry perfect. One long swing down and in front. Takes a little quick swing to pick his horse up. You want separation. See how his horse is starting to stop as he throws? That means you want separation so you can hold your slack. Now, if he jumps off right there, he gets there really fast, but the calf will be down. See how he stays in the stirrup? He uses 1,200 pounds of horse to balance out the pull of the calf so it turns him around. When he's standing up like that, he's flanked and tied 1,000,000 calves on the end of the rope standing up. That's just like it is every day practicing. So really, back there, he really slowed down and took time to make him fast.
Yes, sir. That's a lot of calf roping. I think sometimes I've struggled with trying to go too fast and rush stuff, but being patient in the stirrup and patient stringing the leg and crossing them sets your whole run up, and I've really tried to work on that.
Tell us about your horse, Ty.
Walter Johnson owns the horse I'm riding here, Iron, and he's been a blessing to me. I got on him last year, and he helped me win the rookie, and then he helped me this year along with El Gato, the bay that I ride of Bart Huddins, and they've both. Without them, I definitely wouldn't be here.
Did you ride this horse at Canadian Finals?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you won 2-3 rounds there?
Yes, sir, I won 2 rounds and tied the arena record.
Yeah, see, so, you know, equine athlete, I always say they cost so much for a reason, because they're worth it. Okay, a deal like this, you don't own these horses, but these guys owning horses, that you got a deal worked out with them, so it's still good for them.
Yes, sir, yeah. I try to take the best care I can of their horses, and then I pay them a percentage of what I win, and they're awesome to deal with. I mean, they've been great for me, big fans, and both of them, I think, just want the best for me, and it's been awesome.
Okay, you've been a lot of places, AJRA finals, college finals, all that. What was it like when you rode in that first night for that grand entry?
It was awesome. The hair on my arm stood up, and it was everything I've ever dreamed of times 100.
Because you did win the college just last year as well, and the Rookie of the Year in the PRCA in the same year. And this has been a great year for you. You won at Reno, I think you won Alberta, Walla Walla. You put some great rodeos back to back. But what Donnie and I he just whispered to me, these young men now are just so well spoken. The maturity of these guys, Joe, is remarkable.
Well, and it's because they've been out there on that road. You know, Ty, 2 years or 3 years ago, I guess it now was. Now you probably went to how many? 150 rodeos at home.
Yeah, I went to over 100 for sure, plus jackpots.
Everywhere they could enter, and now his little brother's doing the same thing. And a lot of that goes back to the family. Walt and Dolly, they know what it takes to win. In this business anymore, you can't just jump out there and think you're going to be successful. You better know the ins and outs of the time you've been in it for sure, because of the trading. You got to learn to trade. You get up on a Wednesday, you need it Saturday. Well, I call all the guys on Saturday. Well, they think I'm trying to get a better position, so they don't want to trade. So then you got to pay their fees, or you got to buy their fuel, or you got to mount them on your horse, or let them date your girlfriend, or all kind of stuff to get trades. It's just stupid, but it's part of the business. And that amateuring down there, it is cutthroat, and it is hard to win at. And I think for the time you've been in, it is a must to learn to be successful in the PRCA. Do you?
Yeah, every aspect, every level of calf roping that I've came up in, I think has helped me to get here. But the amateurs for sure. Just staying controlled in different arenas, different calves, variables, muddied, whatever. Just knowing, hey, I got to win something right here. I'm not going to make the UPRA finals, CPRA, whatever it is that you're competing at. It's obviously not near as difficult as making the NFR, but there's a lot of guys in South Texas that can rope.
And I think I'm going to go on and say it. You've matured a lot from last year. He could have made him last year if he'd have been at the maturity level he is this year. But it took that year out there for them kicking his butt and not letting him come out here to the national finals and then say, come on out and get your rookie buckle. And look at all these guys are open for all this money. It matured him a lot fast because he's a different kid this year.
And tell you, so far, how much money have you won here?
75.5, I think.
You know what I asked him before he come out?
Wow.
I said, if somebody would call before you come out here and said, you're going to win $75,000, would you have been happy? Oh, man, yeah. And I said, you got another 75 left to rope for.
That's exactly right, yeah, this young man. We're so glad that they made time for us, and him literally at the last minute, Joe.
He did. I called him. I called him at 9:45, people. 9:45, because I wanted to have him on and things weren't going good. So I thought, well, I'm going to let him win a little bit, but I already had somebody scheduled tonight, so I was going to put him on like Friday at the end. And somebody called me, and they got sick. And I know why they got sick. I'd be sick too if I messed one up to win today money, but, he was sick before that, but it just made him sicker. But stuff happens, and he was sick. So hey, I said, Ty, I need you. What are you doing? He said, what do you need? I said, get over to the Orleans. I want to make you famous. And he said, I'm ready for that. So here he is.
Here he is. Y'all give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
Really can't go wrong when you got guys like this coming up.
There's $100. Man, I like that.
Fun to have all these rookies, isn't it?
I mean, it just is. Yes.
Rookies winning, not just rookies say, hey, please come to the show, and they're just coming in like, do I have to? Boy, they're winning, they're happy. That's what rodeo's about. That's that next generation we better have to keep going.
And I think we've talked about it, the three of us, in bull riding especially, and tie down, this changing, these young guys that are well-spoken, mature, and just a great, great thing for professional rodeo
Well,
right
it's
now.
finally starting to make sense to be a professional bull rider, you know, so they're getting, they come out of college, they have the opportunity to go to college and really learn something, but they're just better educated with the strides that the association has made with the entry systems and the rodeos. I mean, it's a great way to make a living and audition yourself for the rest of your life.
Well, and there's so many more colleges, the rodeo programs now. Yeah. You know, there's so many colleges that they're reaching a lot more contestants, I think, instead of, you know, used to be, maybe they were just a little choosy, but there's so many now, and, you know, we tell them, go get an education. You know, you got to be able to, you can't be stupid.
It's kind of like he said, you know, you can go to those jackpots in South Texas, and you'd think, you know, you're an NFR guy, you're just going to go down there and win. There's a lot of guys down there that can rope, but they're just not cut out for the bright lights of Las Vegas.
How many times have you heard in a bull ride, and I've heard it in a tie down, if that guy just rodeo, he'd be make the finals as many times as you. Yeah, tell him to come on then.
Yeah.
There's a reason they don't. That road is hard.
Yep, I agree. You know, we've had so many pictures this week of Joe with these guys when they were young and just getting started, and Joe helping them. I actually called Donnie's mother and had her send me a video of when Donnie was just starting, and we've got a little bit of that video, and Pete's pulling the gate for him. And Donnie, if you'll take this, might bring back some.
what you've done
bring back some memories right here of Pete and Donnie. Right there, you go. Slow motion now.
Yeah. I got him.
He's road.
I got him.
He's road.
Yeah.
Hey, you know why he was waiting to comment? If that kid would have fell off, he said, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
That was actually an old kinescope. We had to go that far back to get that video of Donnie right there, huh?
You're so bad.
Well, this next guy coming out is the busiest man in town, and everybody wants to talk to this man.
That's no lie.
And Donnie went to the rodeo with him night before last, and George said that he would come be with us. He is the CEO, the main man of the PRCA. George Taylor is here. Would you give him a hand? Let's talk to this gentleman. Come on out here, my friend. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Well, all right.
Boy, it's good to have you here, huh?
It's great to be here.
Yeah, welcome. And it's got to be exciting for you. This is your last year in 18. You were named this, and it's your second NFR to come here. Just briefly, George's background, he's a marketing guru. He was with Caterpillar for almost 20 years and in charge of their marketing and doing things like that. What was it when this job came available, George? I want to just start there. What was it about this job that interested you from the outside looking in?
Yeah, so I had a lot of experience at Caterpillar working with our sports programs were all under us. And you say Caterpillar and sports programs, but our NASCAR program was underneath my organization. And then we had a race team in Australia, and we had a soccer team in the UK. So I had exposure to sports, and it was something that I really enjoyed and always been wildly fanatical about that. But I read a book about, as you're thinking about things, I had retired from Caterpillar and was thinking about what I wanted to do next. And the author wrote, you should make sure you do these three things. You should do something you love, with people you love, in a place you love. And I still don't know how I ended up in rodeo. No. So
2 out of 3 is not bad, right?
No, so we've had a place in Snowmass, Colorado for over 15 years. We loved it, but when the headhunter called, I told him, listen, I've been to 2 rodeos. I've been to Houston, and I've been to Snowmass Rodeo. And so I had very little rodeo experience, but as I got to know the people, man, rodeo has the most amazing people there are.
You know, one of the things, George, when I was reading about you, and the biggest part of this job, not the biggest, but one of the biggest things is listening. And so when you got this job and people ask you what you were going to do, how you're going to start off, you said, I'm going to start this job by listening to people. Yeah. And in the PRCA, people have an opinion. I don't know if you've noticed that yet or not.
A little bit.
About everything.
Yeah.
But so my hat is off to you for
Yeah.
that. When you started talking to people and listening to people, were there common themes that ran through it, George? How did you start?
Well, I think, the passion that people have for this sport and the history and what it represents to our country, what it represents just to the Western way of life is really, really important. And, that came through loud and clear. The challenge is, how do you begin to change something or drive something that is really satisfied with where it is? And yet, as a business, if you stop changing, you're dying. And so it was really about just collaborating with people and trying to bring that together in that way.
The difference to me here, Donnie, is that we've talked about it a lot and you've seen it now, that outside of the NFL or the NBA, this is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So for the people that come here, this town changes overnight from Las Vegas to, I tell people it's the biggest Western family reunion there is. But because it's a lifestyle and because there are farmers and ranchers involved here, everybody feels like they have a piece of this product that they want to share with people. From my standpoint, the media side of it, it's been frustrating for me the last few years because we've bounced around from different networks.
Yeah.
And Donnie and I have done, and Joe have done a lot of shows on ESPN. We've done them on a lot of sports channels. But you might be following ping pong or you might be following something else. We've always felt like we needed a home that catered to our lifestyle. So let's talk about the media home. We're in 2024 in Las Vegas. That's what the contract is right now for the National Finals Rodeo. But you made media changes that will take place next year, if you'll address that.
Right. So, we did some work last year to really understand what kind of audience we could draw on different networks. We certainly had a good base of what we were drawing on CBS and the kind of numbers we were drawing. And then we ran Cheyenne last year on RFD TV and Rural Media Group. And while we weren't completely satisfied with all the production elements of that, the numbers we drew were amazing. So we were up about 30% on the numbers side versus CBS Sports Network, which was really important. And historically, we had paid for production and we had bought our airtime. And as we switched over to Rural Media Group, they began to pay us a rights fee, which was substantial, and they paid for production. So between the money we saved and the money we got, it really, over the 6-year period, is around a $50 million difference for the association. And now our direction is to try to figure out how do we push that back out to the membership and make strategic investments that help the sport go for another 100 years.
And that's huge. Folks, when you're watching on television now, all of sports, it's huge because everybody pays to play.
Yeah.
And those days of when we were on the Nashville Network and doing things where it's like it's coming back to now, they paid for the production, they paid, but that overhead was killing everybody, and it still does in the sports world. So for that change right there, just as itself, that's a huge thing. So Christmas is coming up here. Tell me your wish list for the PRCA now, from where you've got all this input over the last year. People have been talking your ear off, I'm sure. And so tell me where we're going.
Well, we gotta again always start with a point where we respect where we've come from, and so that we make sure we do that. But probably 2 or 3 of the top things that we're really focused on in the coming year. One would be this media, beginning to really exploit the media relationship. Cowboy Channel really cares about rodeo. And again, you guys said it, if you're on ESPN or CBS, they care for you that 1 hour. But what they're talking about doing is, and I use the word humans, not highlights, we've got to get as good at showing highlights or our human interest stories as we do our highlights, because that's what broadens our audience and it will make a difference. And we have a TV partner that really wants to do that. So the media side of things is absolutely critical. And probably our biggest challenge in the association is turnouts and entries. So we've been seeing turnouts go up and the number of total entries go down. And so we're really focused on how we can begin to change that so that our rodeo committees get a full complement of guys that are there and that type of thing. So we're really working hard toward that element. And then the last one was putting together a new relationship with the WPRA. Our last arrangement we had with them was court-ordered, which is not necessarily a good way to have a relationship, as far as I last checked. But this is really an agreement where we're going to collaborate more together, and I think it's the theme that I have for the sport, and it's really about we're stronger together than we are apart. And there's a saying that says you're only as strong as you are united, you're only as weak as you are divided, and we've got to really focus on that in a time in our country where isn't everything about how we're different from each other and that we don't have anything in common. So it's really about bringing the organization together.
They've also made a commitment to junior rodeo. I'm talking about the
Yes.
Rural Media Group, and that's another part of this puzzle that's coming together.
Right.
From the membership side, Joe and Donnie, this is the chance for people, and you guys hear everybody's grievance as much as George does, if not more, because you all sit and talk about it. Changes that you would like. Do you have a wish list, Joe, for the way things are going or what you would like to see?
Well, I think the main thing on the time dividend, what I see is important about, they're getting a lot, they're taking out the big cost. In other words, rodeos, when I was going, if it were two-head, it was back and forth and around and through, and now most two-headers are back-to-back, meaning you run them the same day, same night. However, the big rodeos are the big one-headers, again, where they pay big. The buildings are always hard to work, get turnouts at the end of the week. The cattle get big, they get sorry, whatever. They turn out towards the end and it empties purse. They're doing a system now with the progressives or tiers or however you want to name it, where I might rope 3 times, 3 purse in a row, top so many winners, advance to the end. You eliminate your guys turning out, you eliminate your guys griping about the draw because you got one set of timed event animals you're going to compete on. If there's 10 of you, you got 12 head in there. Well, they're not picking out from last week that a little bitty one went, and the next week, 3 weeks later at Fort Worth, when one gets big and fat, guess what? If you're in the last set, they're all going to be big and fat. So it's kind of evening it out on my end to where I think the guys that compete, and make a living at it are going to make more money in the long run.
Well, I think that the commissioner has made a couple of hires during this past year to really give him some support. And the more that you can stay off of the dirt and worry about above the rail in the grandstands and that television to save $50 million, and this is helping us. It's helping the television owners. And if we can get some rodeo, professional rodeo and Western lifestyle on a regular schedule, same time, same station, we'll be making some strides forward. That's what I hope to see in the future, and to be able to drive people to where we're going to go to New York City more than one time a decade and have a professional rodeo there. I just think that's where all the people are at. And we got some people from New York down here in Las Vegas watching pretty good rodeo this week.
That's right. Exactly. And, again, I think for us, the whole issue around some of that work and getting those people, I remember growing up watching the Mesquite Rodeo on television, and it was there every Sunday night. And I call it appointment television. Appointment television is really important to a sport. Monday Night Football has really helped the NFL, and we're really hopeful that we can begin to do that while advancing on the digital side as well with our partners like Wrangler Network, because the next generation doesn't have cable television at all. My kids all watch it over the top, as they say, through the digital streaming, so we've got to really be good at that as well.
No, I agree with that. And what you just said, Donnie and we did Mesquite Rodeo, that Sunday night slot, for years and years and years, where people knew Sunday night, that time they could turn.
Well, and it's just like he's talking about. We have to sell stories and people. We can't just sell a highlight reel and here comes the rodeo.
You don't really need to see all 15 guys in this event right here. You need to see the 5, 6 guys that won the money, you need to see the 3 or 4 guys that got wrecked out and seeing if they're going to get to come back. But we need to tell the story of professional rodeo. We need, these guys that are coming in for this reunion. I mean, we got some video clips of Denny Flynn or Randy Majors or Kenny Wilcox riding bulls, in the 70s, and everybody had their hair, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, and that's that other time slot he's talking about too, about a story. Like, I love to watch, the ESPN stories, the NFL story guys and stuff, and that's the part that you're talking about. It frees us up to do more stuff like that. However we have to do it, we need to get that part of rodeo out there besides just the event.
Well, my thought is, and we're taking his time here tonight, but we're honored that you came to share with us here tonight.
Very honored.
We appreciate
it.
Appreciate you doing.
He's done more rescheduling to get here than you can just imagine.
Well, what I wanted to say, George, is because it is this lifestyle that we've talked about, and we found out, like it or not, in the last 2 years with the ERA, it's about the sport. It's about the lifestyle and these people. But what I was going to say is these young people, and we have another rookie that's going to be coming out here in just a minute. From my standpoint, if I'm sitting in your shoes, we've got some young people that can really, to me, expand this sport and let these people now, like we do here, get to know these guys when they're 19 and 20 years of age, because marketing is your thing. That's your bailiwick of being here. But for me, it's got to be exciting time for you.
Well, and I'll just even use the finals as an example. Watching people stay in their seats the entire rodeo is always important to me. And I think this year with Stetson Wright doing the things that he's doing in the bull riding and having an opportunity to be the all-round champion, really exciting. But then also watch Sage begin to try to come after this guy and his records, is really making a compelling event. So,
it's those compelling stories. Yeah. Exactly right. Yeah. I wish you nothing but the best. It's the first time I've had the chance to meet you, and we appreciate you being on tonight. And I agree with Donnie. Let the guys in the arena that know what's going on in that arena.
Well, that's why we have event directors.
Yes.
And you can have all of that input. And, when it just gets all down, you get everything the best you can get it. Then if you're all tied, 6-6, he can break the tie.
Yeah, and I'll just make a comment broadly, and it's really about the people in the audience and the people out here, our fans. One of the things that we're in this for is to entertain and help people understand and continue. So I really appreciate all of you all, and thank you for your commitment that you've had to rodeo. Well before I got here and well beyond probably after I leave. So I really appreciate it, and thank you all for everything that you've done for the sport, because we're riding on your shoulders.
Well said. Would you give this man a hand? George Taylor, Commissioner of the PRCA.
Yeah, thank you.
And I still want to get, this Boyd Gaming Group has been a fantastic partner of the PRCA for many years, and I want to get Bill Boyd in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame.
Thanks, George. Thank you very much.
Just saying.
Thank you.
Work it while you can.
I think more than anything else, whether you're a contestant like you guys, whether you're carrying this banner or whether you're sitting out here, you want to be heard. You want to have somebody that's listening, and it's so important.
And and he takes the time. I got to spend a little time with him, Monday during the performance, and then, of course, him coming here and talking to him, trying to figure out if he could, make arrangements to get here. And it's just testament to a guy that really wants to do good, because he's still growing into his job. But I tell you, he took on an enormous undertaking, and I think he realized that when he got here last year, and he's much more comfortable right now. And he hired a guy named Tom Glaus. It's in the administration, in the office. You couldn't have put a better guy in there to start with.
Any last thoughts from you? Go ahead.
No,
Joe.
it's a point where we're at a point in rodeo too where we better have somebody up there
Yes.
taking care of the business part of it and working the odds that we don't have time to do. He doesn't need to be doing down here, like you said. Hire 4 or 5 people you can trust. That's the hard part. Find
That is the
somebody
hard part.
that you can trust that actually knows the bottom of the business, because at the top, by the time it gets up there, sometimes it's a little Jill flirted.
Yep. We are a family. We're a dysfunctional bunch, but we're
We got
family.
a bull rider back there.
We got a good
He's
one.
ready to knock.
A rookie.
And
A good one.
let's just get him out here. Dalen Swearingen is here. Would you give him a hand, this young man? Bull rider, New York. Thank you for coming. It's good to have
All
you
right,
here.
buddy. It's just like over in the Thomas and Mack last event.
Yes,
The best one.
Dalen, welcome. It's good to have you here. Boy, all these good-looking young guys, huh? That's awesome to have you. I'm saying in the middle over here. Yeah, Donnie. It's good to have you here. Welcome. Thanks for coming to National Finals tonight. And again, this young man, I was trying to get hold of him last night, and it was chaos, and he said, I'll be there whenever, and you're here tonight, and we appreciate you for doing that. Come from a rodeo family, and talk about your first time being here at the National Finals Rodeo.
It's definitely exciting to be here for the first time, and
Close.
it's
Remember what I told you the other day? The more you win, the more you're going to have to talk.
well, I shouldn't be talking today because I didn't win nothing.
Yeah, but we want to go around that after we went through this once. So let's back up and do it. Let's do it the same way.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's definitely been exciting being here at the NFR. It didn't really hit me till we were having the grand entry practice and till we go in there that first day when the stands are packed, and it's just real exciting to be here.
Yeah, and it's exciting to have you here because, again, we've got this young group of bull riders that are doing very, very well. And you're right. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've heard Donnie compliment a young bull rider as much as
Well, he rides the way I always wanted to ride. You know, when he gets an opportunity to ride one, he spurs the crap out of them. And whether you should be or not, but you get extra points for spurring, but everybody that's rode bulls, you might get a point or two for spurring, but they're going to mark your bull down a point or two for being able to spur him. So it's a moot point, but you don't do that really for the judge. You do that for how you ride, and it would make me feel so good to be to just dominate, and that was my way of dominating the bull, and it looks like you do the same thing.
Yes, sir, and it helps me a lot, keep me moving, and I'm just reacting. I'm not thinking about it, and sometimes when I just get there and I'm thinking about it, just kind of sitting there, I'm normally fall on the ground next jump. But
Now, your dad was a bull rider. Tell us about his influence on you.
he was a Bronc rider, and
Bronc
he had a big influence on me. He helped me get on. He was a stock contractor up in New York. He helped me get on the right stock and just helped me in many ways.
Well, let's take a look at you at work and have you and Donnie talk about that. Let's take a look, first of all. This is round number 5. You won the round, 92 points. This is on War Cry. Donnie, you guys talk about it.
Okay, so I was a little worried right there. You got your lips down there around them horns a little bit. Did you think about that, or was that just real quick?
I was just real quick. He did get me way down there, and I just he kind of just sucked back and didn't feel him there. And then once I sat back up, it was all good.
Sets back up, and you watch the outside foot, the right foot. He's already going and spurring. Starts to run him back off his bull rope, but watch when he spurs. Comes up the back, but when it hits, it's up there by the rope. He's spurring forward. You heard me talk about that a couple of nights ago when somebody moving their feet. You can't lose ground, and he doesn't lose ground. So does any of that come from, you ride bareback horses as good as you ride bulls, and so does that come just naturally, or have you worked on that specifically?
Yeah, definitely moving my feet and getting on good bulls when I was younger. That helped me get better, and this definitely helped. And bareback riding definitely helps me keep me moving. And yeah.
You got to be even when it's good in the bareback riding, it's bad. Or that was the last feeling that I had when it just hurt. They just jerked the fire out of you. But I see you working 2 events at the rodeos and not even breathing hard.
Yeah, is that something in the future that maybe, because we see a Stetson Wright, and we need somebody down there, there's no Trevor anymore, so it's kind of an even playing field. Is that something that would interest you or no?
Yeah, I get on a lot of bulls, and just them bareback horses, I kind of had to work on them stronger horses. I can ride the really nice horses really good, but the big strong ones they really jerk on me, and just because I expose myself a lot in the bareback riding, and I think them bigger, stronger horses, I just was getting a touch behind, and then I was definitely feeling it the next day.
So is it a lot harder, the one thing that's way different besides the money in rodeo, they close the books, the entries, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks, 2 weeks ahead of time. And to be able to get your schedule, I stopped riding saddle broncs just because if it was 2 head in the bronc riding, I couldn't work the bull riding. And at the time, you had to go to 150 or 60 rodeos in the bull riding, if you wanted to have a shot to win enough total money to win a title. So I stopped riding. Is it the same way? Is it as hard to get up in the bull riding and bareback riding and to get traded in the same performances?
Yeah, I think it is, and I had that effect in Reno because Reno was 2 head in the bareback riding, but 1 head in the bull riding. And I entered in Extreme Bulls, and I was wondering why I didn't get in, and it was because I didn't know Reno was 2 head. And in the horse riding, I feel like everybody has good bulls. In the horse riding, a majority of the guys have good horses, and then you got to know when they're out sometimes.
Well, there's a lot of good horses at every rodeo, but there's not as many.
Yeah.
The depth of it in the bull riding, you guys are spoiled because your talent means everything, because if you make the whistle, they're going to pay you. How many times have you seen a go-round out here where they fill up all 8 places?
You know what, and you're talking about, too, and Dalen's, he's going to have to deal with this a lot, trying to work 2 events. Do you know what books closed today? Denver, Colorado. Closed today. How about Miss Center and John Douch? It closed this morning at 10 o'clock. When does Denver start? January the 13th? So that goes, there you go.
I mean, that's totally foreign, to me. And
working 2 events, it's really hard because you got to plan ahead on 2 events getting traded, and if you don't, man.
And then what about who travels with you all the time? You have a buddy because when I was riding, you had one guy, you and another guy were 1 entry if you were on the buddy plan when you entered. So whether you got your performance you requested was up in the air, but you were up the same day, right or wrong. Is that still the case?
Yeah, it's still the case, and it's definitely harder to get traded in 2 events, especially having a traveling partner that has to get traded up in them same times.
This year, just this summer, you're winning in college and you're winning in the pro levels as well. Let's take a look, you guys. We looked at you winning that. Let's take a look at last night here now, Dale. And this is from last night on Big Jake, and you and Donnie can talk about this one.
Go ahead and just talk us through this.
Yeah, it was a really good bull. The other day, he jumped out of it, so I was kind of trying to ride that outside a little bit, so I'd be ready if he did go back right, and he did go back right, but it was right at the end. So
one of the things that I thought, and Stetson Wright could maybe pick up on it, you moved your foot right there, but you've got your position, but you want to be behind. You want to let that bull think he's winning, and so he'll stay in the left-hand spin. But watch right here. You see the clock. It's coming up on 6. Okay, here comes Money Chops at 7. Boom, there's 1. Boom, there's a big one. The whistle blows. That bull can jump out of it. You can buck off, get off. You're going to get the money. But if you start spurring too soon, how many times have you opened up on one that just got it right into your hand right there, and you bit off more than you could choose to open up, and you ride real good all the way to 7 seconds and get bucked off? This is maturity, and I see it in you as the first time coming here, and I blame that on your dad.
Yeah, it was definitely something I had to learn because I enjoy spurring them and it keeps me moving, but sometimes when them smarter, older bulls jump back the other direction, it'll cost you, and I've definitely matured in kind of controlling it till them last couple seconds where you can normally get by with it.
All right, good deal. You got any more videos? I wanted to see what he thought about one of those other ones.
Did you want to? I think we can get tonight's ready back there.
Okay, so tonight, before you open the gate, hold that thought right there. So tonight you had another bull. You had 2 tries to get out on him. It wasn't very long, but it was 2 tries and you wanted to get on him, but the judges made you take this re-ride, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Had you looked at the re-ride list that's on the wall in the draw? Did you know what was in there? Did you just find out that you had this one when they told you to get off of that other one?
Yeah.
And then they're telling you to hurry up and go get on this other one.
Let's go. Yeah.
And so that makes it much more difficult. Walk us through what you're feeling here. Are you rushing? Are you ready to ride? You know the bull?
I didn't know anything about this bull. I really wish I would have got out on the other one. I should have.
I mean, this sucker was gonna buck.
Yeah. And I kind of just got to sitting over there a little bit. And
is your hand further down on the side? I know you ride with the Brazilian style rope. It's on backwards, but for me, but your hand was way down. And when they go away from your hand like this, coming right out of there, that's just such a pull. Look what it does to your hips. It pulls it over, and I see you've loosened up. You kicked loose to try, so you felt it coming.
Yeah, and that's something I've kind of learned with. I got to learn with them ropes, because sometimes they'll move a little bit, and that's what I got to slow down when I get in there and make sure I get it right, because I had it over here a little bit more, and then when I slid up, I felt it, and.
And that's a byproduct of not getting out on the first one, rosin being a little slicker, hurrying up and pulling, you're being hot and sweaty, and that bull just coming in and he's blowed up, that rope being a little bit loose. I saw it cost Trey Kimsey, not Trey Kimsey, but TV3. His rope pulled across the side, and he's rides with the same style of rope, and it's interesting, but I could tell you could feel that, but I didn't know if you put your hand there, if that goes down, because I mean it's this far further than anybody I know that rode in back in a long time ago.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and the other day I got a re-ride too, and and I was riding the bull good around there, and then my hand come out. It's just kind of that rosin gets slick, like you were saying, and we don't get no time to change it back there.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, this bull right here, he was all there, no shame in bucking off them. You know that's gonna happen, but it's always exciting, you know, when I hear your name called out, and whether it's the bull riding or the bareback riding, I stop what I'm doing and watch.
The only thing I'm gonna say is quit landing on your head all week. It's either on the horn or on the ground, so stop it, go back, win another go-round. And it's a lot better to go over there. We like you over here, but we want you to go over there and get that buckle.
Dalen, what do you have tomorrow night? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I have a really good bull onion ring of Sammy Andrews. It's
He belongs to Sammy Andrews. He's going to turn back and give you a chance. Yes, sir.
We appreciate so much you coming to be with us here tonight. This young man is riding well and first time at the big show and making money and made time for us, and we appreciate that, Joe.
Doesn't the future rodeo look good, guys, with young guys like this out there, young guys like Ty Harris? That's what we want. Champions.
Give him a hand, if you will.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Going to college, going to the NFR. Oh man.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's just wrap this thing up this evening, and tomorrow night is round 8. You guys are here at the best time of the year. Let's have all the studio audience stay with us so we can give you away some prizes here right after.
Yeah, get those tickets out that you got when you came in. Have some drawings.
And we'll say goodbye to the folks on the Cowboy Channel. We hope that you will tune in again tomorrow night. And for Joe Beaver and for Donnie Gay and everybody here at Boyd Gaming, thank you for joining us for National Finals tonight. Good night, everybody.
All right.